So when we first start, they definitely complain and they kind of like, Mom, why are we doing this? And within the first few weeks of us going screen free, I know this sounds crazy, but they really get along better because they have those opportunities to play with each other, to imagine things, to create. And they're not just in front of a screen, because I feel like a lot of times the screens cause fighting with what are we going to watch? And I want to watch this. And when we eliminate that, they really learn how to play together, how to problem solve. And so they get along better, which sounds crazy to a lot, but it really is true. And it's so much fun.
Welcome to the Thriving with Technology podcast from TechWellness.com. I'm August Bryce, and today, if you've got kids and you've ever struggled with how to regulate their time online, and more importantly, maintain a nice relationship with them, you're in for a real treat. Jennifer Sitterud is a brilliant mom I came across on Instagram. She posted something like, okay, we're logging off now. It's time for screen-free summer. And I thought, wow, really? What? How do you do that? So I knew as we got into the thick of summer, it would be great to talk to Jen about how she actually does it and how she keeps the kids occupied and engaged. So you're going to find a really fun, easy, practical discussion that shows you that you can make screen time free summers work for you, even if it's a screen free summer week, and build better relationships with your kids at the same time. So if this is your first listen, let me take a second to tell you about Tech Wellness and why we're here. Tech Wellness is a platform that helps everyone maintain a balanced relationship with the tech we all love: mind, body, soul, privacy. I started after discovering that I was sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies, or EMFs. And as I researched and I learned and was able to help myself, I realized that we all need answers and solutions about not only EMF, but also about online privacy, blue light from our screens, overuse and addiction, and creating a healthy digital home. So please visit Tech Wellness and join us on the journey. We hope you'll follow the podcast, and it would be so nice. It would mean so much to me if you would give us a rating on Apple Podcasts, because it helps them help us spread the word. So now let me introduce you to a really cool mom, Jennifer Sitterud, and how to create a screen-free summer for your kids. Okay, so this is Jennifer Sitterud, who goes by Jen, and I am so thrilled to be talking to you. This is something that I found you on Instagram, and I saw you made an announcement. Okay, we're going offline for the summer. And I thought, what? Going offline for the summer? I had to talk to you. Like, how do you go offline for the summer with 5 kids?
Yes, I am so glad you reached out. I get that a lot. Like, how do you do this? We started when they were younger, and it was so much fun. And we had like the best summer. So I'm like, we need to do this every summer.
So so first of all, you've got 5 kids, ages.
Yes. So my oldest is going to be 15, which is so wild. Right. 15. And then I have a daughter. She's going to be 13, a son that's 10, another girl that is 8, and a little guy that's 5.
And let me tell you, if you haven't followed tutus and jerseys, you absolutely have to, because Jen has the most beautiful family. They should be modeling for J. Crew or something. It's beautiful. Beautiful family.
Thank you.
Really fun to follow. So you decided when the youngest was, it must have been when he was just born, right?
Yes. Well, so it was actually, I was pregnant with my 5th.
Okay.
And we were in the thick of it, young kids. I was pregnant, and I get pretty sick the first trimester. And so I felt like the screens were kind of my babysitter. My kids were in front of the screens a lot. It was kind of survival mode. And, once I started feeling better, I thought, you know what, we need kind of a screen break. We need to get in the outdoors. And I tell my kids all the time, that's how I grew up. We grew up outside, exploring, creating, and I have some wonderful childhood memories. So I kind of want to incorporate that with my kids. So we started that summer, screen-free summer.
What does that mean exactly?
So we've kind of had to adjust it throughout each summer we kind of get a little bit better, and the kids give their opinions of what they want. So it's not 100% screen free. So Monday through Friday, there's no screens. Then Friday night, they get to reward themselves with screen time. And then Saturday night as well, they get to have screen time. So I feel like it's a good balance. We have activities throughout the weekdays. Come weekends, they get to just watch and do whatever they want as far as screens go. You asked me about my oldest. He got a phone last year.
14, he got his first phone.
Yes, I know that is so shocking to a lot of people. And it may change with the younger ones, but with my oldest, I really wanted to wait as long as possible. I've went to seminars about screens and kind of the dangers of it and kind of the things that kids experience through screens with a lot of anxiety, depression, and the things that they're exposed to. So I really wanted to wait as long as possible. So yeah, he got it a month before he turned 14. Last summer we went, he did the screen-free the weekdays, and then he got to, on the weekends, text and call his friends and hang out, that way to communicate. So
this is a great example of someone who never had a screen and then never had a phone. Now he does. Yes. What does he think? So this was his first year of having a phone and then not having it all summer long?
Yes. So he got it last summer or a month before summer started. And so it was good because he wasn't in the habit of it or having a phone. I'm a little like, okay, I wonder how this summer's going to go,
Exactly. Yeah.
And so we're going to have, in the next couple of weeks, kind of have conversations like, hey, what is it? What do you feel like doing? This is, we've done this for 7 summers. What do you feel like you can do, to still engage in screen-free summers?
Well, I know I want to go through every single day, all the little things that you have planned and all the fun that you have. But first, I really do want to talk about you. Do you actually go through the summer without a screen yourself? Does that mean you don't use your phone?
Okay. So yeah, I get asked that question a lot. So I don't. Like the first summer, I had to delete all my social media apps. So I wasn't tempted because I thought, as a mother, if I want my kids to do this, I need to do this as well. And I would like to break some habits. You don't realize it is very habit forming. And so, yeah, I deleted all the social media. I had my phone for, calls and texts, but that was it. And so that's kind of been every summer. I will delete all my social media apps and just keep it for calls and text.
How does that feel? So how many apps do you have?
It's so funny. I've never really been a Facebook person. I have Instagram and Pinterest. And so that's what that goes.
So just out the door, turn them off, grab your phone. So you don't read the news on your phone. So how does that feel after about 2 weeks?
I tell everyone, I say, get through with kids, and especially because my husband also takes part in it as well, which is so awesome. Get through that first week. It is hard. Everyone gets a little more cranky and you're breaking these habits, but you get through that first week and you start that next week. It feels so good. By the, second, third weekend, I get out of the habit of checking my phone. Like I don't feel the need to check my phone, or I'm more present. I feel like I'm more present in what is going on with my family and things that we're doing. And I love it. It's such a freeing feeling.
Isn't it? Yes. I unplug every day for a couple of hours. And I don't know, I feel so independent. I feel free. I feel like my life is my life and it doesn't belong to anybody else for those 2 hours. And I feel powerful. So, but I imagine for you, not going to social media at all. I'd love to know how it feels when you're having this amazing time with the family and you're in an idyllic situation and you just want to grab the phone and take pictures and post them.
Yes. So when I first started, I wasn't really in the habit of Instagram, and through the years, I'm more in like taking videos and pictures of the kids all the time. And so there will be moments where I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, what? No, we're just going to be present. And I saw this picture a few years ago and it just rang true. And I picture all the time. It's this elderly lady in a group of people, and all these people have their phones up, and she's just sitting there, no phones, and just watching with a smile on her face. And I thought, that is awesome. She's just in the moment, just present in the moment, enjoying that moment.
Have the kids talked to you about it? Have they said, Mom, this is stupid, or on any particular day, have they said, this is the best thing ever? Do they, especially the older one, is he old enough to understand what's happening when he's unlike anybody else? The whole family is doing something. I'm sure you guys go places and you don't have your phones.
So when we first start, they definitely complain and they kind of like, Mom, why are we doing this? And within the first few weeks of us going screen free, I know this sounds crazy, but they really get along better because they have those opportunities to play with each other, to imagine things, to create. And they're not just in front of a screen, because I feel like a lot of the times the screens cause fighting with what are we going to watch? And I want to watch this. And when we eliminate that, they really learn how to play together, how to problem solve. And so they get along better, which sounds crazy to a lot, but it really is true. And it's so much fun.
That is so good because, one of the first studies that I remember writing about was the study from UCLA where they noticed that the kids were losing all their empathy skills. Mm-hmm. And so these people the kids just didn't care about each other. And so they took the kids camping for a week without their screens, and they found that came back very strong, very quickly. So I think, like you're saying, it might be the empathy, but then you also said how they might argue over screens. And then there's that whole idea of screen snubbing, where they might be in a conversation with each other or playing a game or something, and somebody picks up their phone or looks at the screen over there.
Yes. See, and it's super important for me to teach my kids to be able to communicate with kids their age and adults and look them in the eyes. And I think that's really important for them to learn that, because I feel like we're really losing that connection with each other.
No, you're absolutely right. There are studies about that as well, that's going out the door because we're not showing them how to connect. We're not talking to them about the importance. And a lot of times we're not modeling it. We're in a conversation with a girlfriend or a husband or something, and we can pick up a screen right in the middle of it, get a notification, and boom. And so the kids see that. So tell me about what you've noticed in your kids as far as being able to connect with adults and other kids.
Well, and I've had a lot of friends mention, your kids, they're confident kids, and they can carry on a conversation. They seem, and not all the time, but there will be moments. And I feel like that removing the screens so they have opportunities to communicate with adults and with kids, on a daily basis and get that practice. It really helps them be more confident and more confident in their relationships and who they are. So,
and at this age, though, especially like we were talking about with your 15-year-old now, is he feeling a little left out from the crowd because he doesn't have access to his phone, or can you foresee that happening this next summer?
Yeah. So last year, so he started 7th grade and didn't get his phone till the end of 7th grade. That's junior high here. He started junior high. And there were moments when he would come home and like, Mom, I don't know what's going on. And, I felt bad for, and I kind of talked to him and I said, hey, give him my cell phone and have him reach out, or you get their numbers, reach out, and just kind of explain the importance of Logan. I'm doing this because I feel like this is for your best interest to, go as long as possible, because phones are so habit forming. And I want you to be able to, when you have your phone, know that it's a tool for good uses, and not get into bad habits with the phone.
I completely agree. And I understand everything you do. I'm wondering though, how the other kids, does he know how the other kids perceive him? Because he was probably one of the last kids to get a phone, right? What's the average age at his school for kids to have their own phone?
Between 10 and I think 10, 11, usually. Yeah.
And so
even we have friends that have, even 8-year-olds and stuff. And my kids are, they want, the older ones, now Logan has one, but my older daughter, I wonder more for her because it's different with girls. They're on their phones constantly. And so I wonder, what's going to happen with that. So, but just reiterating to them, the importance of it. And yeah, Logan, he understood that. So
do you think he had a sense of confidence and pride because he didn't have a phone? Could we go that far?
I really do. I really think so, because he did. There wasn't any distractions for him. You know, as the phone it can be really distracting. So I feel like I feel like it did.
Wouldn't it be great to turn it around and you're super cool if you don't have a phone?
Yes. Well, and yes. And we went to, when I went to seminars, and I don't know if you know, heard of Colin Karchner. He has since passed last fall. He did a lot of seminars on this very thing of giving kids or not giving kids smartphones, saving the kids, you know, looking kids in the eyes, parents especially not being distracted with cell phones, giving 8-second hugs, like all of those things. And I feel like, and he was trying to have that movement of not having a smartphone is the cool thing to do, you know? And there were tons of kids that reached out to him that said, I was really anxiety filled, really in a dark place. And I deleted my Snapchat, my TikTok, and all of this. And I feel so much better.
Yeah, it's empowering. And there's a great study that talks about when it's young adults who just get to college and they do research and find out that they're depressed, lonely, and anxious. And they realize that if they can limit their social media to a half an hour a day, their entire world changes. They become more confident and more peaceful and feel better about themselves and feel like life is more of a joy. So that's actually in a study. So, and they don't do that until they get to college, which is interesting.
Yeah.
You know, that somehow you're sucked in to it when you're in high school and you can't get away from it because everybody has one. And that's how everyone communicates with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I feel like too, they're still developing their brain. And so it's so important that we kind of, limit the screen time so they can really learn how to use it for good, because it's habit forming. And I'm really passionate about the brain.
Good for you. Absolutely. And, with Logan, have you been able to just tell us? So he gets his first phone, and do you go through social media with him? Do you just hand it to him and say, choose whatever you want? Like how did you help him with his relationship with his phone?
Yeah. So my husband kind of wrote up a little contract of, hey, this is kind of, as rules of our house. This is kind of the guidelines we'd love for you to follow, because we feel like this is a safety rules to keep. So we gave him his phone. We downloaded the iPact, which is great for parents.
Yes.
Limit the apps and the time on his phone.
Yes.
So he doesn't have social media though.
Okay. When will he get social media?
We're thinking 16 when he gets into high school, so we were hoping later, but I think that's probably when he'll get it.
I really admire you, Jen. I think it's in this day and age to have the confidence to do that and to have that great relationship with your kids and to help them have great relationships with each other. And so I'd love to know, and I know everyone wants to know, what do you do every day when the kids don't have their screens? Just walk us through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because it actually sounds like a fun summer camp.
It really is. And it really is. It is so fun. And summers have become like our greatest, just memory making. So on Mondays, the theme is Make Something Monday. So we make cookies, or they make Play-Doh, or they, some science experiment, or it's all centered around making something. And also what I tell them kind of before we start is, I don't want to make more work for mom. Mom life is hard. And so I want them to be in charge and them to think of things to do. So Mondays, Make Something Monday. Tuesday is Take a Trip Tuesday. So we'll take a trip somewhere, and it doesn't even have to be paying something. We can go to a museum, a dinosaur museum, or they love to go get snow cones in the summer, of course. So we'll take a trip to go get snow cones, or take a trip, just anything really. That's kind of what on our Tuesdays look like. Wednesdays is Wet and Wild Wednesday. So that is swimming pool or sprinklers, water balloons, anything centered around water. Thursday is Thinking Thursday. So that is actually where we'll either go to the library, they'll do science experiments. I have a few. My 10-year-old is very into just entrepreneur type stuff. So he loves to think and explore and create things. So he kind of heads Thursdays for us. And then Friday is our free day. So that's when we, once we kind of go throughout the day on Friday, then Friday come 4 or 5 o'clock, Friday free night. They get to watch, turn on the screens, whatever they want to do. And then Saturday is Service Saturday. So we kind of think of something to do, around the neighborhood or last year, my son had an opportunity to pull weeds a lot at our neighbor's house. So just something centered around thinking of someone else. Service Saturday. So, and then by 4 or 5 o'clock on Saturday, then screens are on again. They get to have a break and relax. So
you're amazing, because look at all the skills you're teaching them too, and just teaching them organization and planning and just expanding their horizons that they can concept these fun things to do themselves.
Yeah, it's been so important for me, and especially having more than one, once we started having a lot of kids, it was just really important for me and realizing how quickly they grow up. And I really wanted them to learn these life skills and, to learn all the different things that they can learn. So it's been awesome.
Now, what happens?
But it is so awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's got to be. It's good for you. And so, but what do you notice when Monday comes along and they've been able to, it sounds like they can watch TV Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday night, or if, use their phones or whatever other screen opportunities you guys have. Yes. What happens on Monday? What's the frame of mind for Monday? Is it just so fun that they don't care, or what's it like?
So there will be moments. So it seems like the first 2 weeks, it's really hard because we're getting out of the habit, breaking those bad habits, getting into some new habits, routine. And so it's a little struggle, but I just keep reminding them. And if I come into it as a positive thing and then that's kind of the energy of the home.
Sure.
And so I just tell myself, okay, you got this, give it a week or two. Then after that, they really have created this routine and they look forward to it. One of them or two of them might on a Monday, oh, we have to do this again, Mom, but we just kind of reiterate, like, this is what we want to do. This is like, it's awesome. And they get on board pretty quickly.
And so you always have your phone with you though, right? You were saying that you have it for calls and texts. Yeah. How do you manage it so that it doesn't seem like you're looking at your screen if you're texting or calling someone, but they're not?
Yes.
Manage that.
So the good thing is, and maybe not so good thing, because a lot of people try to I can't get a hold of you. I really forget to check my phone. So it'll be in my room or the kitchen. And I really, with the kids, because they're home for summer, they're not in schools. And so I really try to not have my phone when I'm with them. And once I, break the habits of the social media, then it really is easy for me not to check my phone. It really is.
Have you tried setting those auto notifications? I do that when I'm offline, where if someone texts me, they get a message from me that says I'm unplugging, and I tell them about the benefits of unplugging. And I tell them if they need to, they can break through urgent, but I never look at my phone. So
that is fantastic. My husband will do that when he's driving. It will have automatic, I'm driving. I need to do that. So then people are aware. And I think, friends and family know by now, Jen doesn't have her phone most of the time. So, at nighttime, usually that's when I'll check a lot of calls, texts, stuff like that.
And so have you found at all that starting when the school year starts and you're back to social media, have you ever heard the kids say or make, any comments or just that you might feel that they're wishing that it was still screen-free time?
Oh yeah. They will comment at the end of summer, like, this is the best summer. I love this. And it's interesting when they first start school, they won't even like during the weekday, they won't come home and try to turn on the TV or the computer because they're out of the habit. Slowly but surely we'll get back into those habits again. That's why I really love summertime because we'll get in the habits come Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas break. So that's why I think it's important to have those summer times.
Oh, so on Christmas break, they don't have their screens either?
We will do, no, they will. We'll get back into habits of watching screens during the holidays, which is totally fun and fine. But that's why I love the summertime, just to really kind of break free from that and just make new memories.
And do you think that they feel the power of the unplug and they'll be able to carry that forward in their lives when they're grown up?
Yes, I hope so. As a mother, I really hope so. I really hope they're learning these tools and these life skills that will help them. My oldest actually has mentioned, I get it, Mom. Thank you. Like, I get it. And then you're like, okay, yes.
Just
right.
I'm really curious. Does the oldest ever comment that maybe some of his friends are on screens too much, or does he have a different perspective? Because
I think he does have a different perspective, especially when he was kind of the only one that didn't have a phone for a while. But he really felt, at the first he asked, I want a phone. Can I have a phone? After, a while passed, he really felt empowered. Like, I don't need a phone. It's distracting. I don't need that, and he really learned quickly and watching others that it can be empowering not to have a phone.
And, I can think of putting myself in my kids' shoes back at that age. It might even be empowering that your mom can't find you all the time with your phone.
Yes. So they can, yes, it is so true. So they can really learn to use their imagination, especially when they're younger. They can turn a little paper into, whatever, and they're learning to create. And I think we really encourage that without having screens, because they're thinkers, they're creators as children. And when we're in front of screens all the time, we kind of squash that. So that was really important for me to really develop their brains in that aspect.
Such a good point. Now, tell me, other moms must have been saying to you, oh my gosh, you're not getting him a phone?
Yes.
How did you handle that? What were you thinking when people would say to you, gosh, he doesn't have a phone? That's kind of weird.
Yeah. You know what? For the most part, it was a lot like a positive feedback. And I wish I could do that. How do you do that? And on my blog, we did these free printables of kind of our outline. And so I've had friends reach out. Oh my heck, we did it a week. And that's what I tell everybody, like, just try a week. See how the week goes. You don't have to go a full summer, which I encourage that, but try a day, a few days, a week, 2 weeks, and see how that is. So I've got a lot of positive feedback about it.
Tell me what people have said who've tried even just a day.
They loved it. One friend, she actually went a week and she said, I couldn't believe how well my kids did, how well they got along, how well they played outside. She said, because I was nervous that my kids don't really play. They don't play with blocks or, play with toys. And she said, after that week, I was a firm believer that, wow, give them this opportunity, eliminating those screens of what they can create and what they can do.
Excellent. And I want to go back to that one question though before about Logan not having a phone when everyone else had a phone for a few years. Yeah. How did you as a mom deal with what other moms were saying or thinking or what he was saying to you about that?
So I really was tempted. There were moments, quite a few moments where, I talked to my husband, okay, should we this is their generation. This is their, screens are a part of who they are now. And so there were moments when I was close, really close to giving in. To okay, let's get him his phone now. Let's get him, and and kind of worrying, I guess, about what other moms thought. Like, well, we don't have phones, but I'm glad we stayed strong.
Oh, I bet. Good for you. like I said before, I think he probably feels like he's the cool kid because he was able to be different. Now it's just like you said, it's what they're growing up in. It's the culture. It's very normal to have a phone. It's not a big deal anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's
not to have one.
Yes. And that's, and I feel like Logan probably felt for a little while kind of the outsider. And I just encouraged him. I said, hey, it's okay to be different. It's okay to do different things, learn what you can learn through this experience. Because your dad and I feel like this is what we want to do in our family and what we want to teach you kids. So, and I think just having those open conversations of why we are doing this and what's the reasoning, and not all of our kids really fully understand. I guess, they're still the younger ones. But hopefully as the older they get, how the importance of that.
Of having that space between the connection and the control of the phone.
Yeah.
Practically speaking, I'm sure a lot of parents would love to know, what do you do when your kid doesn't have a phone and you want to try to find them, or you forgot their lunch, or they forgot their lunch, or you're not picking them up? How does it work?
Yes. See, and that's where we're getting into a little tricky, because now my older kids are a lot more active, involved in sports and dance. And sometimes, especially with my daughter, she's actually close. I think we're going to get her a phone. But it's like, I want to get a hold of them. I want to track them down. But they know now, like when they go to a friend's house, have the mom text me so I know you're there, or at school, they always will use the front office phone. So
it still exists. There's still a front office phone.
Yes, there is. Can you even? So it's just, it's teaching them, I think, too, to problem solve. Oh, you got to, figure it out. So, but also, I feel like with my younger ones, I don't think we'll go till 14 anymore to get a phone. I think we'll start 13.
Okay. That's still late. So that's great.
Yes. And I think just for the fact of getting a hold of them, making sure I know where they're at and they're doing okay. And the thing is, I have a lot of their friends' contacts in my phone, so I can keep track of them.
And I love what you said about going to the front office too, because that's one more opportunity to have a social connection with an adult, to have to actually talk to someone instead of just running to your phone to solve the problem.
Absolutely. Yes, I love that aspect.
You're listening to Thriving with Technology, the Tech Wellness Podcast with August Bryce. August will be right back. But first, have you ever wished you could reduce the risk of EMFs from your smartphone? It's one of our biggest exposures to information-carrying radio waves. Those are the waves that have been proven over the course of thousands of scientific studies to really have a biological impact. And our phones are with us all the time. One of the best ways to reduce that exposure is to use AirTube headphones. AirTubes make sure that any stray radiation from your phone doesn't travel up the wire and into your head. August has been designing headphones for over a decade now. She even holds a patent for one. This latest design is by far the best yet. Our exclusive SaferTech AirTube headphones have been completely redesigned, and they are the ultimate EMF protection. The speaker system has been overhauled and improved. I listen to a lot of headphones, and I can tell you that these are some of the very best sounding wired headphones you can buy. The double insulated cable is now even longer so that you can keep that smartphone a long way away from you. Distance is your friend. And because August wants you to be comfortable, every SaferTech AirTube headphone comes with 5 choices of earbuds, so there's a perfect fit for every ear. SaferTech AirTube headphones come in a beautiful rose gold and in black. They're coming soon in gold. If you tried to order earlier in the year and found that we were out of stock, well, now is your chance. Just look for the link in the notes below or visit techwellness.com and check out all the resources there to help you and your family live in balance with technology. And now, back to August.
I really think it's a little different for girls, because Logan's friends, they were all pretty, there wasn't any like, oh, that's okay, Logan, whatever. And he didn't, there was times he asked for it, but it wasn't really a big deal. I think it might be a little different for girls. Girls are more social.
I can't wait to see what happens with her. So she's 12 now or 13?
So she's going to be 13 the end of May.
And you may give her phone then, or you might wait till she's 14.
Yeah. I know Logan's like, you got to wait till she's 14, Mom. I waited, she's involved a lot with dance. And so that was our only kind of thing of, maybe we'll get a phone just to be able to get a hold of her.
Now, what about social media? Like, do they look, because I'm sure a lot of her girlfriends, especially with dance, are posting, the competition and the awards and just something, on social media. Do you let them log into their friends' social media accounts?
So a lot of their friends, they follow me. And so when their friends are posting, I'll have, the kids, hey, come and see your friend, and so they kind of keep up with them on my account. And not all the time. It's funny because they don't see it. They don't know unless I say, something. So every once in a while, hey, this is, your friend. And they'll reach out. Their friends will kind of reach out to me or message me. And so
love that, because you're guiding them on, there are a lot of things that we're understanding about social media, like social comparison. It's how all of us form opinions about ourselves and beliefs about ourselves, and maybe even decide who we want to be is through social comparison. And the social comparison on social media is one-dimensional. We don't really know the rest of the story except for what's posted. So have you ever had the opportunity of guiding them through when you see something that their friends are posting and saying, oh, look, they took just really the good part of that situation? Or do you ever get to talk about that with them?
Yeah, and we haven't had that many conversations just because they're not on social media yet, but we have had conversations about not comparing yourself. Instagram or social media can be a highlight reel. You don't know the full story, and so just kind of having kind of those open conversations of what it really is.
Why don't we just call it a highlight reel? Because that's really all it is. Right?
Isn't it so true? It absolutely is. Yes. Yep.
That's good. I like that. Okay, Jen, is there anything else that you want to share with people today? What's the one thing that you want other parents to know or kids to know?
I guess I want them to know that they can do it. As a mother, life is busy. It is, and it can be really hard, but they're only in our home for a certain amount of years. It goes fast. And I think it's so important for us, especially now in this generation, to teach them to take screen breaks, to get away from your phone, that there's life outside of social media or, constantly on your phone. So I think it's important, we call them brain breaks, to take brain breaks away from screens and to allow yourself to connect with other people and to just be an encourager that moms, you can do it. Take a day, take a week, and see how you feel. Because it really is an empowering and a freeing feeling when you can do that.
Great advice. Very good. And I now remember the one other thing that I wanted to ask you about. What about the health effects of the electromagnetic fields and the blue light? Do you consider them in your decisions?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And especially watching your Instagram, I've learned so much about the blue light and the effects of all of that. So it's important to, when our phones, we put our phones in our closet, and kind of get away from that or what do you?
It's called EMF, electromagnetic radiation. And there's EMF from your outlets too, but it's a different kind. There's electric EMF, magnetic EMF, and then the radiation that comes from our phones, but they all have biological effects. And so it's just having the knowledge, and you do. And so you might even see some benefits to their health because of that as well. Have you noticed anything different about their sleep patterns when you're having the screen-free time?
Yes. Okay. Huge difference. They will. And I have video of my daughter falling asleep at 6 p.m. She was so wiped out and she slept for 13 hours. Because they're using their brains. They are outside physically being active. They sleep so good in the summer.
Oh, that's so good to hear. And they're also listening to their body's natural cues. And often our screens can take us away from that because they're distracting.
Yes. I even notice for myself, if I'm on my screen at night, pretty late, I don't sleep as good. So it's important for me, around dinner time, a little after, to kind of put my phone away for, so I can wind down, and it really affects.
It's very true. Biologically, it's absolutely true. So Jen, I know you have the printouts on your website, like a guide to the Screen-Free Summer. Mm-hmm. So tell everybody where they can find you and how they can get these materials, and do you charge for them?
No, they're free. I think it's so important. So they're free on, it's my blog, tutusandjerseys.com.
Thank you so much for sharing that information on your blog. What a great resource for parents. And if anyone has questions about this, do you consult? Do you do a Q&A on the blog? Tell me about that.
Reach out to me on my Instagram, and I have tutusandjerseys@gmail.com, my email. I love to talk about it. Any questions, any concerns, or how we start, or, encouragement from me to you can do this. Reach out to me anytime. I love it.
That's awesome. You're definitely a guiding light for moms right now. Wasn't that awesome? Thanks again, Jen. Jen has a ton of free resources, as we said, up on her website, and I'm putting those in the show notes. And until next time, please rate, subscribe, all those good things. All the podcasters say it, and it's because it really helps move our podcast forward when you share it. So thank you in advance. And until next time, be well.